You are welcome to Encumbered Properties platform. This where properties that are in dispute, properties that are encumbered, and properties that are for any reason not available for sale. That's why we are the only real estate fraud prevention platform. I remain Madueke Enwere, a property lawyer, a senior police officer, and by God's grace, the founder of this platform. And today, I want to bring to your consciousness what is happening in Guzape 2. Recently, I stumbled upon a post from a property lawyer. And the post says, this particular lawyer, a female lawyer, in the process of trying to verify the title of an advertised estate in Guzape 2, because she had some clients who were interested in that particular estate as advertised. And she was able to meet with the CEO of this particular estate one-on-one in the course of her verifying the title and the necessary documents and the approvals this estate could have or might have gotten to be on the marketplace. And to shock you, she discovered that this particular estate was being marketed in anticipation of her location. I'm not talking of anticipation of approval for building plan. I'm not talking of any other ancillary approvals that go with siting of estate. I'm not talking about physical planning. I'm talking about allocation approval. In other words, the developer in question only had a promise that a particular location in Guzape 2 was going to be allocated to him. And based on this promise, the man already printed flyers and he was already selling, to the extent that this lawyer had clients calling in, indicating interest, asking her to go and verify to enable them buy into it. And when this developer got to know that, okay, this is a serious client, he had to open up that there was no document backing the property being marketed. And to surprise you, the estate in question had already sold off 30%. In other words, 30% of the estate had been sold to Nigerians who never got to this point of discovering that there is no single paper, there is no allocation on ground. Only believing, the developer believing on the promise he might have gotten from whoever that promised him the arrow of O. So I had to follow up on behalf of Encumbered Properties. I inboxed her. I sent a message to her under the post she made, requesting her to, as an act of public service, why not mention the details of this real estate developer, the company name, the specific location where he's marketing? At least you will be saving a lot of unsuspecting buyers, those who have not already fallen victim, from losing their money. I met a shock of my life. She got offended that whether it is her duty to protect those who have not paid her to do due diligence on behalf of those who have not given her a dime to conduct the search. However, you will agree with me that this lawyer has succeeded in unearthing a crime. What if by the end of the day, the said anticipated approval was not gotten or does not come out as expected? What becomes the fate of this 30% subscription already made into the estate? She picked offense with me. She refused responding further to the inquiry. The issue is this: does she have the right to conceal information she discovered in the course of her professional duty? despite the fact that it has the coloration of fraud. Is she concealing fraud? Was she hushed with any amount of money from the developer to keep quiet? If she was hushed, now what's the essence of throwing it open? Is she looking for people who will come running after her? Madam, you're a property lawyer, give us the details for money. These are facts that make her attitude have criminal coloration. On the other hand, as a private person, can she keep quiet having discovered this kind of monumental fraud being executed against innocent and unsuspecting Nigerians? These are some of the questions we'll be exrailing in details in the next segment.
Sir, looking at the Guzape 2 issue, and the case of the property lawyer, concealing some information that could help the public get better. I want to ask, in situations like this, where public interest is at stake, does a property lawyer have the duty, morally or professionally, to raise alarm, even if the affected individuals are not her clients?
Thank you, Mr. Rex. It actually bites my imagination. A lawyer who knows his or her duties, in this context, her duties, because he's a female lawyer, as encapsulated under the rules of professional conduct, guiding the practice. For a lawyer to discover fraud or crime in the course of her duties and decided to keep quiet, criminally, she is also liable. It amounts to aiding and abetting.
Okay.
I mean, helping criminality to continue. No responsible citizen should see crime perpetrated against other citizens and decide to keep quiet. That it has to do with taking people's money doesn't make it less criminal. If the same person finds herself in a victim situation, crime being committed against her, and some people feel that I'm not affected, I'm not concerned, and walk away, how would the society get better? So, professionally, according to our criminal law, and by the rules of professional conduct, the lawyer in question, whom I know will be able to see this video, is duty bound to have revealed, to have called out the real estate company concerned that has sold 30% without any allocation anywhere in Guzape.
Okay. By this, can withholding the identity of a fraudulent developer amount to complicity or crime?
Exactly. I already answered that question. It amounts to concealing information that will lead to revelation of crime, a crime which herself revealed through her posts. Except, for instance, if taken up tomorrow, that she will say that, okay, she was only chasing social media attention, which I don't think is the case, because she is practically concentrating on property law practice. I believe her. We have followed each other for a while. She knows that this is what we do to protect the members of the public from investing wrongly. That was why she followed this account, this platform in the first place. So we started following each other until I stumbled upon that post not too long ago. I had to send, a reply to her requesting the revelation, and she picked offense that it was not her responsibility. I was like, where was this person trained? Is it that chasing money has overshadowed her sense of responsibility?
So you think she was hushed?
It's possible, if not hushed. Maybe upon stumbling or getting the revelation of that information, it's possible. What else would make you keep quiet?
Or possibly for her own safety? Do you think so?
It's not true. I don't think so.
Okay, now.
I don't think her safety is threatened.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, now I want to ask, can you name this lady in question?
To be honest with you, for the purposes of investigation, if, for instance, we have emplaced the property unit, anti-fraud, if, for instance, the Nigeria police has emplaced real estate fraud unit, and they take up on this, I tell you, I will be able to give them the account.
Gascally speaking, I think there is need for such, department in the Nigeria police.
No, I believe that one day, in no distant time, the Inspector General of Police will be able to see this platform and see what we are doing to curb real estate fraud. And our recommendation to open property fraud units, I believe the IG will be able to welcome the idea. In various of our videos, I've recommended it, and I believe he will be able to see it. And if he so wishes, I don't mind, with this passion, translating it into that particular unit to make sure that any Nigerian that suffers 2, 3, 4, 5 years saving money in order to own his or her own house does not end up in the deep pocket of fraudsters like the one this lawyer discovered and kept quiet. If for the purposes of investigation, as I've earlier said, and I'm being asked for the identity of this lawyer, who is not hiding, I tell you, I will yield it. Let them, under the law, she is bound to talk. Under the law, she is bound to talk.
Under the law, she's bound.
She's bound to talk.
So looking at that, what would be under the law? She's bound to talk. Okay. So what would be your advice for the law enforcement agencies with regard to the established?
Well, this video is in the public space already. Someone out there might say, are you not a police officer? What are you waiting for?
Why not take it on?
So my department is different from investigative department.
Right.
So except in the course of time, the Inspector General of Police deems it necessary for me to head the property unit so that we go after these fraudsters with the machinery of the government, going after them. At that point, we dim our light everywhere. Those of them advertising on social media, along the streets, we take their flyers, their adverts, scrutinize them, making sure whether they have approvals, whether they have the said property in question allotted to them in the first place before coming out to defraud the members of the public. To be honest with you, this 30% of an estate already sold to people who don't know, it's very painful.
It's ghastly painful.
It's very, very painful.
It's ghastly painful.
Because there is no guarantee that their location will come by the end of the day. And even if their location comes, a crime is already committed. It's already committed because you are not allowed to sell in anticipation.
Right.
It's misleading information. You are not allowed to do that at all.
Okay, I think this is clear enough. But I just want to ask the last question before I drop this. There might be a Nigerian out there. Most people are in the habit of knowing about a crime and holding on to it. After all, I'm not affected. I don't want to say anything. I might say something now. These people will not even believe me. Or they will go out to sell me out. You know, sometimes people keep this information to themselves because of the way the recipients react to the information. So, what would be your advice holistically for people out there who know about a certain crime but have decided to keep it to themselves instead of helping the society get better?
Then, if we know of something going wrong and we keep quiet,
What does
you
that make
know,
us?
so how do we expect the society to get better? So illegality, crime thrives because the good men have decided to keep what? Quiet. So I will encourage every other person out there, when you see something, say something. You don't wait until you become a victim. You don't wait until your neighbor becomes a victim before you will be able to speak out. I give you an example. We shot a video about the unclear title of Broadview Estate.
Right.
Do you know that some members, not all, residents of Broadview Estate, we are against the fact that I shot that video, that video was made public. I asked the man in question that had the guts to confront me, why are you not happy about it? He said that would, dip the value of their investment at Broadview Estate.
At the detriment of the innocent
I
people.
now ask him a simple question that, take for instance, everything you know about Broadview Estate, you knew it as at the time you invested or you bought into Broadview. Would you have still put your money into Broadview Estate? He smiled.
That was the question that brought the cameras back.
And he told me, no. He said, then why do you want another person to fall victim? So we shouldn't wait for somebody else to fall victim before we speak out, because you don't know the next person who could fall victim. It could be your bloodline, of course.
Gospelly speaking, it could be anybody. Thank you so much, Mr. Madueke Enwere, for this detailed clarification. Of course, your thoughtful input. I appreciate you so good, and I love the work you're doing with the platform. Like you said, when you see something, you say something. Do not wait until you become the next victim or your loved one falls victim to these avoidable circumstances before you speak up. Knowing something about a crime and keeping on to it, what does that make you? An accomplice or a criminal? That information you're keeping to yourself could save millions of people out there and also help them save their money. Please say something when you see something. Encumberedproperties.com, the first and only real estate fraud prevention platform. At Encumberedproperties.com, the safety of your real estate investment is our priority. Please click the subscribe button to stay updated. Share this video to save lives and help your brothers and sisters save money. Till I come your way again, stay safe and stay out of troubled properties. I am Rex Chinedu Agwawike, thanking you for watching.